Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of my Necromancer playthrough. I decided to do this playthrough because it was something brand new. Last time,
The smell of death surrounds me.
when I did the trapper, I decided not to record it. I heard early on that she was getting changes, so I was like, you know what, maybe I just want to watch some shows while I do this instead. Now, when I first heard of this class having a cooldown after every spell, it just seems so terrible. And I don't mean power-wise, because, you know, it makes sense that they need a cooldown, or else it's just too much damage being pumped out.
The sanctity of this place has been
But I just find it really boring when you have to do, you know, nothing that does damage and just kind of walk around. It's not to say that there's nothing to do setup-wise. You can still put like fire walls and lightning walls and rings up. You can stone curse enemies, knock them back and whatever, but I don't know. It just seems really boring. With Novas, you could still use your other spells, but you could just kind of like tailor your gameplay around having that big, you know, 1 damage spike. But here it's just gonna be like walking around in circles a whole lot. Wonder if I can summon more than one. Oh yeah. Okay, well, I don't know why I didn't do that before. So yeah, that was my initial call with this, was that it would either be super OP, or if like this happened, you can just, you know, there's a cooldown so it's not too strong. It's kind of like, guess it might be okay. I just think it'll be a lot of autopilot, like you just kind of watch your guys beat everything for you. Or if you don't watch them beat everything for you, it's just going to be non-stop, like, resummoning, which I've experienced in other mods like Median XL, and honestly I wasn't too impressed. It's just kind of annoying because, you know, you either get to the point where your summons are really, really good and you don't need to summon them, and then they just kind of go on autopilot, or, you know, you just non-stop have to summon them, and it just breaks up gameplay, and it's really tedious. And also, the enemies, like, you're not interacting, you're just like, get to a safe spot, you know, put down these minions that do everything for me. So I think that I'd like the traditional elementalist just better, or mage better than this, but, you know, it's too early to judge ahead of time. And there's been quite a few changes, so many that I can't even name them all off right now. But a lot of them are just really nice quality of life, like perk changes. And I'll get into that really quick here. There's one to the AC perk, which has always been a pretty good perk in my opinion. It's just, you know, for 5 points you get 20, here it is, Dodger. You get 20 AC, but now it goes up to 10. 40 AC, so not only is that a sizable increase, it also gives you the same point per point value, but just more. Now, I don't know if you'd really need that much AC on most characters, but if you found a unique that, you know, really dampened your defense, at least you have that option to just pour in that good point value. Another really good one is, love this change. I really thought it was silly to have this and the DFE. It's not like terribly bad to have, you know, stun threshold, because it doesn't require toughness to get the DFE. This you can just sink points into. But, you know, point for point, like DFE is definitely the key, so this is much better. And having the limit where mages can't get more DFE just because they can't invest in a toughness seems like a good trade-off. But I pretty much can't use any of that. I have to just for the sake of testing, pretty much invest my entire build into these bottom four. It's honestly, they don't seem very strong unless they ramp up, but like 1 point to damage seems so bad. Like, why would I do that? It'll probably make things go really well in normal, but if I'm gonna go into multiplayer on Doom mode, there's no way I'm gonna peel through like a 40,000 HP boss because I added 10 points into this perk, you know what I mean? But from what I've picked up from Gavin and whatever, it seems like it's actually quite a bit of damage when you have so many of them flying around. And I have to get it anyway, so, I mean, why not? So we'll start with that. Oh, it does look like it's linear. That's not really that good. I think it's kind of dumb to start with this wand at the start. It seems so silly. You just start a mage and get this thing that gives you mana charges, which is 100 times better than this. This gives absolutely nothing. You should not get this. So if you are starting a character out, just make a mage and swap this over to him. And it's not like it's this, you know, super advanced item or anything. Just right off the bat, you can get that. I'm gonna hold off from using it though, just to kind of get the whole experience, start to finish, what it's like. But I'd imagine that you can still buy Necromancer wands that have... Can I summon 3? No, I can't summon 3. That I could just buy from Asia that has the same effects. I don't think I'm gonna need this unsummon skill really at all, so I might not even hotkey that. Ooh, these are nice gloves. There was a lot of changes in the log regarding just new items for these summoner classes in particular. And honestly, a lot of the images look pretty good. Like this right off the bat almost looks like it could be a unique. Well, it does look like it could be a unique. It really, very graphic, very nice. Same with the gloves too. There's also kind of a question of whether these perks work or not, so I'll definitely try them out just for that. I should have probably went ahead and tested the damage beforehand, but I feel like anyone could do that after. Just spell. I guess Firebolt's the best one. Can I still hit these guys? Oh, nice. This is some weird lag though, but it's good that I can't actually kill my own minions. That really bothered me before. I guess it makes sense because you'd be hitting everything. Non-stop you'd be hitting enemies. Since these guys do a pretty good amount of damage, I'm just gonna go ahead and pick as many things as I can up. Let's get as many enemies as I can getting around here. Also, Summoners got a decent nerf with just base mana. instead of ×2 of whatever your base magic is, it's actually, oh boy. It's 1.5 times your base magic, so that's good. I don't really know. I don't know what the acceptable amount of mana would be for this class, but I'm just guessing that the perks for summons are actually pretty bad. Oh. First boss, unique. I think that's suburbs. I don't think it's that handy for me, but the unique's a unique, I'll take it. Now, I don't know if this follows typical scout accuracy or not, but their accuracy seems actually pretty good. They were hitting from almost, all the way over there across the screen, and still sniping that guy with no accuracy. And I didn't see any formulas in there that had to do with your magic stat. Usually with mage spells, your accuracy goes up with your magic stat, but I don't think that's the case with these. Really makes me hate missing a spell though. 5 seconds is a long time. I kind of just wish that spell damage was reduced by something like 75 or 80% really. It's at least it would give you like that option to do something, even though you're not really doing anything, you're just kind of goofing around, doing a little bit of damage, but it's consistent. I feel like later on you're just going to have so many minions. I think you can get 7 normal ones. 7 normal ones, 3 fighters and 1 tank. And then you add a golem into the mix and it's just like if you have teleport you're fine. I can't see anything really getting in the way. I'm trying to think if I could test these perks in any meaningful way. Like my damage numbers aren't set up to show with this little damage, so they're not doing much damage it seems like. Yeah, like 2 to 3 damage it seems, so I probably won't be able to tell much of a difference. And I don't remember the formula that their damage is based off of. And another major thing that is going to be terrific for this run is some mid and end game uniques for mages, which is huge. There's, I think, 5 or 8 on the wizard plate. Whoops. I think on one of the males there's 5 or 8. So that's a lot of potential there. Don't have to worry about just getting blues. I was making a savage too, and he had 1 point into steel skin, which is no longer available to savages, and his perk point just disappeared. It's honestly a lot better than I thought it would be though, because Mordor pretty much said that you should just start a new game, and if you've added into perks, you should probably just make a new character. So far so good though. He still interacts, he can go down to catacombs. I know that some players have said that they couldn't go down to catacombs. So. What's this guy doing? He's just chilling. Alright. Well, even though I like the damage that these guys are doing, it's actually not going as slow as I thought. I mean, you can go really fast on a mage if you just, you know, use Wand of Mana and blast Firebolt on everything, but, I mean, considering this is like a brand new class, you know, minions are theoretically weak at the start, I'm pretty impressed. I'm not too worried. It's good too, because it's not going to hurt my hands to play this character, it seems like. But not being able to read books, like healing or mana shield, is really a huge issue. So even though I like damage, adding into strength at the start is a really bad idea. Well, whatever, I can just grind for it later, I suppose. Oh, whoops. Well, I guess I'm going 5 more to strength. That was an accident. Oh yeah, the damage looks like it is working. I saw that guy, that digger, take 4 damage. Actually, maybe the damage is variable. That would make sense too. Not doing the exact same amount of damage every time. Well, I guess I could have unsummoned there, but I don't know. Last time they got out of the way, I don't know what it was if I stood like right in front of them. Maybe if I stand directly in okay. I'll have to test it out as I go. I'm not actually sure what the theory is. I just read that as long as one of them gets aggroed, all of them will get aggroed. So that just seems like a quality of life improvement that happened thanks to Quasit and Gavin streaming all the time with these characters. Accuracy on minions, I think, is capped at 80%. 75 or 80%. Go magic this time. I think that means I get accuracy at the bottom. It seems so dumb. Like, 1 accuracy? Well, actually, that might be 1%, which might not be terrible. But when you see, like, affixes on your gear, you're like, okay, well, if I get, I don't know, 30% more summon life, that seems way better than 10 HP flat. Especially because it's not going to multiply. They don't want to move very much. Uh-oh. Books look much better now. Huh. Well, at least the Book of Healing does. I don't know if it's just kind of random. It's probably random. Like, Book of Charge Bolt looks the same, but... Oh, nice. +1 magic. Diablo 2, they had a summon spell. It was like, you just are on teleport, you would pull all the minions you have summoned onto your sprite, or like right next to you. I don't know if that's available in this game, but that'd be kind of cool. -1 dex, eh? Well, I'm gonna pump that back in just in case it limits the drops that I can get. Ooh. New summoner only ring, that's cool. I could go without the strength though. I'll dump it more into magic. And also, my spells should be focused on the bosses. I didn't really think about that, but my summons do, I think, half damage to boss enemies, so best for me to deal with them. Rare one, that's good. Late game, I don't really see myself needing fast cast, which I would normally go for on a mage. Any type of regen, even though I'd probably just get a wand of mana at some point. There's probably some pretty good stats you can get for your summons if you kept a summoner wand, but honestly, I don't know if I could ever go without a wand of mana. It's just like such a good thing to have. Yeah, vitality. There we go. Can actually heal myself. Handy dandy. Probably gonna have to do something about the defense of these guys, though. Take like 15 damage every hit. Getting 3-shot. If it's this early and they're getting 3-shot, it's gonna be really bad later on. Just wait until lightning casters come or something. And the reason I made a savage was because there's this guy on Discord who brought up damage difference between the Demetrius and the savage. And when I looked at the numbers, I was pretty much convinced that, well, he would be right. Late game, the damage would be better on the savage, or at least the same for being much more tanky in exchange. How do I get my minions to come down here? It's like they're stuck because they're in battle, but they don't want to go across this wall. Well, it's not terrible to just resummon them. I don't know why that one. Oh yeah, it goes by the least HP. So they summon with the random HP, and then the one with the lowest HP gets unsummoned. But yeah, and it's sort of one of those things where I wanted to try out a Savage and see how it compares damage-wise to the Demetrius. But honestly, I hate playing Gladiators. Not hate, but usually it gets pretty tedious later on because you need better armor to progress. So it's kind of annoying. There's not a whole lot you can do other than have better gear. So I can play it for a little bit, but I definitely don't want to make two characters to get a good feel for which one's stronger. But if he makes, you know, Demetrius and I make a Savage, and then at the end we just kind of like share our files, and you know, maybe for a week I try out his character and a week he tries out my character, then you know we can find out which one is actually, you know, much better or much worse, or if they're actually just fine the way they are. You know, I don't expect things to be 100% perfectly balanced. It's so early in the game, and there's so many different ways to build your character with uniques and whatever, so it's never going to be 100% balanced. But, you know, if one of them is clearly much better, then the other one should get a buff. The only difficult thing about that is we've got a... Book to eat. Oh, town portal. Nice. We've got to get our characters to level 50 because it's endgame that really we care about comparing. I honestly don't care about early game. You could say that Bombardier is weak early game, but then mid game it's just like a beast, so... It is endgame I want to test, but to do that I have to get to endgame, have to have max stats, have to be level 50, and have to have similar gear. Which we weren't really decided what we do. Probably just buy some stuff from Griswold to make sure it's the exact same. So even if it's not like, you know, perfect gear, at least we'd have the same gear so it's very comparable. And then to actually test it, I wasn't really sure if I should just make a video side by side, you know, kill a baton like every Uber boss once or 3 times on each character, and you know, take the average, how much time it takes, how many potions I go through. Supposing we can find the same gear. And then after that, maybe we do quests. The only thing with quests is that they're really tilted to particular classes. Like, archers won't have as much of an issue with the Island of the Sunless Sea. But like an executioner off the start will probably have a pretty big issue with that. So I don't really like quests as like a great comparison, but I think that Savage and Demetrius probably play very similarly. That you could get, you know, a fair, like somewhat fair comparison, you know. Maybe not apples to apples, but, you know, apples to grapes. They're both fruit. They're just not exactly the same. And also, if it's like one quest, you know, one guy performs better, it's not really a big deal. But if it's like, you know, every quest except for one in the game is done better by the Savage, and it's like, okay, well, Demetrius doesn't really have a quest game going for him. Oops. Ooh, unique cape. Might be the Hospitaler's cape or Hospitalers or something like that. I think it gives like +5 magic shield or mana shield. Not positive. But I don't know, if I go for Vitality, they'll get like an extra HP, which is terrible, so bad. But I might get better gear. Strength would also give me better damage, which I think is a big thing. I think one armor class is not very good. They're gonna get 10 AC, that's terrible. At late game, they're gonna have, I think, like 180 AC, or that's what Golem has, so I think it's a bad idea to do that. I'll get my dex up. Man, I really don't want to test out these perks, it's just really bad sounding. Oh, 5 HP. Okay, so 50 HP versus percentage HP. That just seems so bad. Like, there's no way. And enemies do, like, at least, like, 120 damage. Some, like, melee enemies will do, like, 150 damage in Doom. So, the HP has to at least get to probably, like, 250 late game. So if I'm gonna have, like, say, 30% minion HP, that's so much better than giving them plus 50 HP with 10 perk points. I don't know, maybe I should just scrap this idea. The accuracy, I'll take that one and the strong one, but honestly I think I'm just gonna add into something else. I don't know what else I should add into. It's nice to take more damage, but honestly I shouldn't be taking any damage with these guys around. Mana regeneration, I don't like mana regeneration. Stun threshold is actually pretty good. Master caster doesn't really matter. Armor class would be okay. I guess mana, like it's not a great use of stat points, but it's not terrible. And at least I can start right away getting it. I don't know. You know, I'm just gonna wait on the perks. No sense rushing into it and regretting it. Just let it be. And I guess it would be fair to say that I'm not going to be able to get through all 3 of these classes before a lot of other features are released. Oh wow, this guy actually went right in front of the door. But I figure if I test 1 or 2 of them out, that's good enough. Just to give enough so that, you know, I have the comparison one and the other, which one is stronger, mid-late game, more so late game, and how they fare late game, and see if the perks are really useless or what. Yeah, it seems to be this bug around walls. If they're within the distance of the enemy, but the enemy is through a wall and they can't hit them, they'll just kind of stand there. I'm sure other people have pointed it out, and, you know, just having them there as meat shields is enough on its own, frankly. Oh boy. Oh, they're not moving. Guess I haven't really pumped my vitality up. Should probably get that going. actually do a pretty good job of kiting the enemies away. I'm kind of torn between what I'd like for the enemies, well, for the summons being summoned. If they got summoned where you click, then it would be much more precise and easy. Oops. But on the other hand, when there's like 10 friendly allies you've got to keep track of, it's kind of like, why should you have to worry about that? So they both have pros and cons. I guess later on, like, if you wanted to be like super, I don't know, professional or like hardcore about your character, you'd probably want the character to summon exactly where you click it. I don't know. Because if I click a spot I want, it has to choose one if there's no skeleton near there. I don't know, yeah, there's just not a good answer to that. There's always going to be situations I'd want it one way or the other. It's good, nice and small, fits in my inventory. Actually, I can go back and identify some stuff. I don't know why I held off so long. I have Book of Town Portal. Should definitely do the unique. Nothing else.
Hello, my friend.
I don't know about these, if they're really worth doing. +2 life regen. +2 life regen. Oh, okay, well maybe that is worth it. I know that the number you can have is based on your spell levels, and I think it's not even that high to get to max. You just need like 7 spell levels or something to get max, or maybe it was like 11. I guess that's good enough. Oh yeah, there it is. +5 mana shield. I guess I could just drop everything else. There's not really much of a point of lugging it around. feel like repairing any of that, so I'll just dump it on the ground when I go back. Seven dexterity, that might come in handy. Probably not, but I'll just hold on to it anyway. My spell accuracy is actually a bit of an issue too. I can have really powerful spells, but they're probably not going to hit very often. Some people recommend doing Dariel instead of mushroom runs, and I can see why. It's less boring, honestly, and that should be like number one when you're playing some game for fun, is really what you can do the longest without getting bored. But typically I don't like any quests with the mage because the mage is so squishy and it's very punishing to take a hit in a quest with him. So I probably won't do any with him. I might, but I really doubt it. It would be nice because then I don't have to level up my magic stat so much. With mushrooms, you kind of have to keep everything below your cap, or else you're just wasting your time. And I feel really bad for gladiators because, you know, they can only get their dexterity to 130, but they still need to get, you know, a decent amount of dexterity to wear their gear. Oh, whoops. So you can't just not add into dexterity, but that means that every single time you do a mushroom run, you pretty much can't get any magic bonus, and you can only do so many before you max out your dexterity, so I guess mage is pretty decent for that. You just pump magic and don't really worry about it, but I probably won't even need to get this character max. I was all worried about getting my mage to max stat points because it was necessary in that, well, not necessary in the Hell 1, but almost necessary in the Hell 1. Or it just took forever. But honestly, every class that I've made except for my Iron Maiden has just been able to go through the game and just win. Like, you just buy everything from Griswold. You don't go back and do any quests. You don't farm or anything. You just buy stuff from Griswold with Fury. Just really, really simple. I guess it's because most of the classes I play have magic, so it's sort of like a cheat in a way. Just because you can fiddle around so much with magic. And usually you can separate the level pretty well. Right until about the crypt. That's when things start being, you know, pretty much only taking physical or magic damage. Yeah, you got some pretty good books so far. I guess I could be casting Mana Shield? Mana Shield. Mana Shield? Where's my Mana Shield? Mana Shield. Okay, so I have Mana Shield, just... Where is it? Where's my Mana Shield, man? Oh, Scoob. Got no Mana Shield. I'm guessing it's because I have 2 skills that are given to me. And a I don't know, actually. Is that really the reason? Staff Recharge is base, and so is this, so you can't get any... Let me try with mana. I can use mana. No, I can use mana. That is a charge of mana. Mana Shield plus 5 levels. Is it just because I don't have Mana Shield yet that it can't give me the levels? I guess that must be it. I just always thought that people were excited to find this because, you know, in Iron Man, a lot of people don't find Mana Shield. So if you find this cape, at least you have Mana Shield, but... I guess I was wrong. Oh, what? I can summon 4 of them now. Oh, hell yeah. I didn't really think 1 spell level made that big of a difference, but I guess it does. That's good. And I think they actually are spell books of these summons now. Someone was saying that they found one on their scout, which is kind of a good thing, because that means if I can pump up my spell levels just by buying books from Adria, I don't need as much from my gear, and then I'll probably hit the max amount of summons pretty early on. I'll go for 50. There's quite a few books up until level 8, and then it just pretty much all drops out, so just as much as I can read early on, and then after that I'll probably have to level out and start adding into vitality and stuff. I think their stats are also based on something like that. Probably level, because they used to have 44. Oh, I think dungeon level does it too. Yeah, Gavram was saying that like the main thing is dungeon level and difficulty. And that's the way it was with Golem. If you made it to Doom with Golem, then it actually got to be pretty strong. But if you weren't in Doom, then it was just kind of like a waste of mana to use it. Something that would be hard to prove, but no doubt a lot of people are thinking it, is if Magic Find is split between your minions or not. In Diablo 2, I think your mercenary, he had his magic find added to your kills. I wonder if with summons that there's any difference to your magic find or anything like that. Or experience gain. I doubt it, but I mean... Arrow resistance just flat out wasn't working, so I wouldn't be that surprised. It's not like, you know, bugs or something that Mordor goes out of his way to like make in the game. It's just natural. So many new things being added. Not enough time to really go back and juggle it all. I think people are pretty understanding on the forums. Like, there's not too many people complaining about bugs. It's actually usually Mordor who gets probably the most upset about bugs. Everyone else just like, eh, it's a mod. What are you gonna do? But I guess I don't really need health potions anymore. Gone are those times. You know what, maybe I'll just keep them in case I get bright and dark become as the sun. That shrine I got on my Savager is like, ah, just have a whole inventory full of potions now. Uh-oh. So far it's kind of like what I expected, just a lot of letting your minions do everything for you, but I think later on it's going to get a whole lot more interesting when you have to, you know, work around your weak parts. I'm sure that some minions are going to be, you know, weak in some areas. You don't want like these guys getting a bunch of melee enemies on them, so using all your utility spells to try and back them up instead of just like raw damage is kind of cool. get some more damage this way. Alright, I think I'll wrap things up there. That's a pretty decent start. So far, I think it's an alright character. I think it's going to get more interesting later on, though. Anyways, I'll catch you guys later next time.